Mr. Jim Rohn says, things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. The correct way of investing in mutual funds is by far the most easiest forms of investing in today's world. Unfortunately, just like Mr. Jim Rohn says,
when you think it through, what's easy for one person can be just as easy for everyone. Now, let me get a little philosophical on you because I like to go deep with these things. Here's the real truth. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. That's where the line gets drawn between success and failure.
Many miss out on the easy things in the mutual fund investing journey. क्या आप उनमें से हो? Are you one of them? Well, now as India is moving on slowly from fixed deposits into the market, the easiest form of investing in the market is mutual funds. But before you enter the market, there are 6 important steps which you should be aware of before you put your money into your investments, into the mutual fund basket. These are very basic and I believe most of you already know this, but for those who doesn't, this video is going to be the key. This video will focus on what you would miss out if you don't follow any one of these 6 steps while you are in the mutual fund investing journey. If you're missing something, if you have missed something, just for once, correct it and fix it for life. The rest will follow automatically. Because investing is not as easy as it looks like. Every step you take in the financial world is a challenge. And with that challenge comes the next big opportunity. So like this video and subscribe to this channel right away because the next video I post can bring you that next big opportunity. You don't want to miss it, do you? In our day-to-day life, whenever we decide to make a substantial purchase, we do a lot of research. We look at each component, we look at the reviews, we look at the comments of people who have already purchased it, and then we shortlist them and then finally select one from the shortlist and accept it as our purchase. The knowledge about what to experience from the product, it ensures that we have a good experience with what we have just purchased. The same thing is in case of mutual funds, isn't it? Before you put your money into it, you need to be aware of a few things. Things that would give you a rewarding experience for the rest of your life. And the first important thing would be, do not mess with your mental peace. In my earlier mutual fund videos or investing videos, I have talked about the risk levels. The risk for every mutual fund category is different. Although it's much lesser than investing in stocks directly, but it is still substantially high. And so it makes it important to know what risk level a mutual fund is in. Not only because it saves you money, but because it saves you from insomnia, from anxiety, from the sleepless nights. Isn't that worth it? Don't miss peace at any cost. A healthy sound sleep, a peaceful night's sleep is far more important in your life than going that extra mile to get the 2-3% returns more on your investments. Then taking the extra risk to get that 2-3% more. So always stay within your risk tolerance level and shift your investments towards more safer levels if you find that's more comfortable for you. So that brings us to the point number 2, chasing higher returns. See, chasing higher returns on the other hand would mean you're taking on more risk. Also, if you've figured out the fund that suits your risk appetite, it's wise to go for the direct funds rather than the regular ones because the direct funds would give you an approximately 1% more returns every year. And that's going to be huge. For a very long period of investment of 20-25 years, 1% every year on your corpus is going to be huge. It might look like it's just 1%, but that's going to amass to an amount in probably lakhs by the time you retire or by the time you stop your SIPs. So 1% looks small, but it's a substantial amount of money. So if you have a chance to save it, save it. So always choose the direct plans for your returns. Trust me, many mutual fund investment advisors would not even bother to call you and update you on a regular basis. Yes, some do, definitely, but majority of them, they don't. Why bother paying them that 1% if they're not giving you that service? Why bother paying them in lakhs every year if they're not giving you that service? Do it yourself. If you know what you're doing, do it yourself. Number 3, the returns are not the same. This is not an FD. It's investing in the market. And any investment in the market would give you returns as per the market's performance. All mutual funds, they generally give you a CAGR number or an absolute return number to depict their performance. Many of you would think that this is the fixed return that they would get from this mutual fund. That is incorrect. The CAGR itself says it's compounded annual growth rate. It's an average return on a year-on-year basis. So for some years it's going to be high, for some years it's going to be low, for some years it's going to be on the negative side as well. So you need to be prepared to see this variable returns in your investment portfolio. You should be prepared to see your portfolio value go up and come down as well. And seriously, on a serious note, if you cannot handle this fluctuation from the market, stay away from the market. Go and invest in bonds and fixed deposits. Number 4, consistency always wins. If you are consistent with your investment, you would win. Similarly, consistency with mutual fund always brings them out as a winner. Consistency of returns is a hallmark of a very good mutual fund. Just like you might recall in your school days, there was a group of students who always used to come first, second or third in class. It's similar for mutual funds too. Consistency in a fund would rank them as toppers in this class. They are the good students of the market. So in other words, the fund manager who's managing the fund is a good student. They are just like the toppers in your class. And that is what makes it easier, because when your portfolio falls by a small margin, the next leap that is required to hold on to the average CAGR performance would also be less. Because if your portfolio falls by 10%, to bring back that depreciated 10% the next year, you would have to gain 33% on your investments. That's huge. You can't just gain back the remaining 10% and say it's done, it's leveled out. No, it doesn't. You have to get 33% returns the next year to even out the loss that was incurred last year. So it's evident, it's advisable, it's wise to stay with a fund that does not deviate much from its mean line. Every fund would be volatile, every fund would have ups and downs, but it shouldn't be so high. The downs should not be so low that it makes it difficult for the fund manager to make up for that loss. Automated investing. There are many videos which would tell you to buy or to keep your money safe and buy at dips. That would fetch you more returns. This is logically true. Mathematically, this is true. It does. But in practical, on the ground, does it really happen? Can you keep a substantial amount of money in a savings account without it being touched, waiting for an opportunity to come? Majority of us cannot handle this pressure. Money lying in the savings account. Money lying in the savings account, it just salivates. You can't resist the temptation to spend it. And for the most of them, majority of us would go out and buy something that he or she would like. And when the time comes, at the end of the year, probably the next year, when the market is really down, that money is gone. Probably you have purchased a phone, probably you have purchased something else. That money is gone. This is the problem. No one has the time, the patience, the tenacity to hold on and monitor the market every day and wait for the right opportunity to buy at dips. We are common people. It is very difficult to build that stamina to hold on to a few lakhs of rupees just lying idle in the savings account without us spending it. In reality, it just doesn't happen. So you might think you can do it. In reality, you will miss out. मामी स्कूल चली गई, दादी प्रेग्नेंट हो गई, दादाजी फुटबॉल खेलने चला गया. ऐसे बहुत सारे हरकत जिंदगी में होते रहेंगे. Things will pop up in your life. Ridiculous things will pop up in your life. And you would spend your money on it. And eventually you will miss out on the opportunity. And just like I discussed in the previous point, consistency wins. You have to be consistent with your investments. The way to be consistent is to automate your investment and then let the software do the rest. Don't fall for these traps of getting extra returns. Maybe it's possible to get it once, twice, thrice, but on the longer run, it doesn't happen always. You would miss out. It's perfect on paper, but it's not perfect in real life. And number 6, asset allocation and rebalancing. We all know this. I don't have to discuss or brief about this again and again. But there is a subtle difference that you should know. Asset allocation majorly breaks down your investments into different asset classes so you can diversify. You can diversify your risk levels. You can mitigate your risk. You can minimize your risk by investing in different assets. While rebalancing, basically what it does is it rebalances the risk levels in those assets or in your entire portfolio. So if your entire asset allocation gives you a risk level of 50%, that's the risk you can take. And the risk level goes higher up because of the exposure into high risk assets. You need to rebalance and bring it back to 50% if that's your risk appetite. So that's what rebalancing does. So basically, rebalancing allows your investments to bring it back to your risk appetite levels. So these are as easy as it sounds, except for rebalancing. All the other points are a one-time task. Do it, shut it, forget it. Let the software do the rest. All you need to do is rebalance your investments on a regular basis, once every year at least. But go through this list if you're really serious about your mutual fund investing journey, because this will let you know what you should be doing next. As of this video, adios.